Hello everyone, welcome to another episode on how to make auto gele by yourself, and it's not difficult at all. If you're new on this channel, you're welcome. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe, like button, and also comment in the comment section if this video helps you in any way. For returning subscribers, I love you guys so much. So the materials we'll be needing for this video are your satin fabric, a pair of scissors, thread and needle, measuring tape, pins, gum stay, chalk, and your sewing machine. So guys, I'm going to cut out a piece of fabric right now, and this is going to serve as my base gele, and I'll measure 19 inches as width and also measure 31 inches as length. So you have 19 inches as width and 31 inches as length. I'm going to cut out the excess. So there we have it, guys. I'm also going to fold the edge of this fabric, which is my base gele. I'm going to fold the edge and I'll be securing it with pins. So these folds that I am making right now are going to serve as my pleats. Don't forget that this is your base gele. This is what you are going to place on your head. It's just like the foundation. So I'm going to create about 7 folds, which I also call pleats. The general term is pleats. So I'm going to create 7 of them and I'll be securing them with pins. It's easier this way so that when you take it to your machine, the folds that you've created will not unravel. I'm still going to cut out another piece of my satin fabric and I'm going to fold it this way. This is going to serve as my hook. This is what will enable me knot the gele at the back. So the measurement for this is width 8 inches, width 8 inches, and then the length 6 inches. So once I'm done measuring, I'm just going to cut that out. So guys, I'm also still going to divide this into 2 so that it gives me 2 equal halves. I want one to be at the right hand side of my base gele and the other at the left hand side of my base gele. You can actually make yours longer. It depends on what you want. So this right here is my base gele. I've already sewn the first fold. So I'm going to sew the second fold, but then I will make sure that the second fold covers the first fold stitch line. So while I sew, I'll remove the pins. While I sew, I'll remove the pins. So the third fold would also have to cover the second fold stitch line, and then the fourth fold will also have to cover the third fold stitch line. That's simple. So this is what you should have, guys. You can actually make more pleats if you want. I've also sewn the edges of this fabric. So this right here is my hook. On your satin fabric, you discover that you have a shining part and a dull part. So let the shining part of your hook face the shining part of your base gele. Then stitch the edges of the 2 fabrics together. At this point, you discover that you are stitching the dull face of the hook. So once you're done, make sure that you tuck the base gele inside the hook the way you can see me do in this video, and then stitch the edge of the hook. Like I said, guys, you discover that you are stitching the dull face of the hook. Once you're done doing that, flip it over to the good side. This is what your base gele should look like, guys. So guys, once you're done, this is what yours should look like. Moving on, we are going to start creating our ruffles, and we'll be needing our gum stay for this. So I'll measure 18 inches as width on the gum stay and then 6 inches as length. I want my ruffles to be firm. I don't want it to fall easily. That's why I'm making use of this gum stay. So I'm going to make pleats with my gum stay the way you can see me do in this video. I'll be creating 2 ruffles, guys. So this one is the first ruffle. So once you're done making pleats with your gum stay, stitch it at the middle, this point that I am holding right now. Just stitch it, and also stitch the edges of the gum stay. Once you're done stitching your gum stay, this is what it should look like. So I'm still going to cut out another piece of my satin fabric and then fold it into 2 like this. And I'll measure 10 inches as width and 9 inches as length. This is going to enable me create my ruffles. So once I'm done cutting and sewing everything, I'm just going to place my gum stay inside the fabric. So I'm going to measure 1 inch from the edge of this fabric right now and then cut it out. So once you're done cutting, take it to your machine and stitch the edges of the fabric, and I'll be doing this off camera. So guys, I'm done stitching. I'm just going to place my gum stay inside this fabric. This is going to enable me create my ruffles properly. And after placing it inside, I'm just going to start picking my ruffles, and I'll be using pins to secure. Once you're done creating your ruffles, this is what yours should look like. This is an auto gele, guys, so you have to make sure that you remove the pins and replace it with your thread. You have to stitch with thread and needle. So at every point where you used pins, you have to make sure that you replace with thread and needle. So I'm going to stitch this ruffle right now to my base gele. I'm just going to stitch it at different points to make sure that it's secured. And then after stitching, guys, don't forget to go to the back of the gele and stitch your ruffle at the back. Stitch your ruffle at the back to your base gele. This will make it not to fall at all. So you can stitch at 3 points or 4, it depends on what you want. So for our second ruffle, guys, I'm still going to pick up my gum stay and I'll measure 15 inches. I'm just going to repeat the same process I did on the first ruffle again. And then for the length, I'll measure 5 inches. It's nothing different, it's just the same process. And then I'm going to make pleats with my gum stay like this, and at the middle I'll just stitch it with my thread and needle and also stitch the edges. So this is what yours should look like, just like the first time. I'm still going to cut out a piece of my satin fabric, and for the length I'll measure 8 inches while the width would be 6 inches. This is going to enable me place my gum stay inside and also create my ruffles just like we did in the first. So I'm going to measure 1 inch away from the edge of the fabric and then cut that part out. Once you're done cutting, take it to your machine and then stitch the edges. So guys, I didn't want this tutorial to be boring. I just went off camera, created my ruffles and then placed it on top my base gele, and right now I'm stitching. Like I said before guys, don't forget to go to the back of your gele and then stitch your ruffle to your base gele. This is very important guys. I want a shape in the form of a pinnacle in between these ruffles I've created. So I'm going to cut out my gum stay again and fold it into 2 like this. Then measure 5 inches as length and 5 inches as width. You know it's folded, it's supposed to be 10 inches, but since it's folded, it's 5 inches. I'll also measure 1 inch away from the edge of the gum stay. It has to be in the shape of a pinnacle, so you have to make sure that you cut it to the middle of the gum stay. So once you're done doing this, cut out a piece of your satin fabric again and cut it in this shape. Then take it to your machine and stitch it. Just sew the fabric. Once you're done sewing, place your gum stay inside your fabric. This is what it should look like. I didn't want this tutorial to be too lengthy and boring, so I'm just going to place this pinnacle in between the ruffles I've created and then stitch the pinnacle to the ruffles that I have created. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do believe that this tutorial has been helpful. If it has, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share and also comment in the comment section. Please don't also forget to turn on your notification button so that each time I post you get the notification and you'll be the first to know. Thank you all for watching. See you guys in my next video. Bye bye.